Keller Christmas Vacation is a Hallmark film from 2025. It's directed by McLean Nelson, written by Tracy Andreen, and we have a cast including Sher, Jonathan Bennett, Brandon Routh, and many, many others. We have a lot of main characters because it does focus on the Keller family, and I wasn't sure if this would be good or not because this kind of film is quite hard to get right. There are many Christmas films that deal with a family coming together for the holidays. They have their own problems, they have their own obstacles. Sometimes they can be too messy, too chaotic, but this one does work. It's not perfect. I do feel like we did jump around a little bit, but it did deliver. And what makes it a little bit different is that they're not just gathering at the family home, they're going on a river cruise in Europe. And that makes it, at least in my opinion, very, very different to any other film like this. I have seen many similar films of families coming together, and as far as I can remember, not one of them has been set on a river cruise, so definitely gets points for creativity. And honestly, that part of it was delivered really well, and I was really quite satisfied with it. Obviously, given the nature of the narrative, we have a lot of different locations and activities, and they all really help to keep it interesting and engaging. With regards to the family aspect, the family dynamic is very believable. The characters are well written, and we have some really good performances. I wasn't necessarily emotionally invested in any of their stories or their problems, but it does get really emotional on a couple of occasions. And even though leading up to that I wasn't necessarily emotionally invested in the characters, those emotions were still really hard-hitting. Not to the point where it's a miserable experience, but there's some quite powerful scenes, and I was rather impressed with that. So if you can connect with the characters emotionally, I imagine those moments will be even more powerful. But I was quite impressed with it. It definitely has a lot more substance in those moments, but we also have some lighter, more merry, festive scenes as well. It has a gorgeous use of lights to create, for the most part, a really warm, Christmassy atmosphere. We also have good camera work and lighting. Visually, it's a very impressive film, and I came away from it feeling really impressed. There are very few films like this, of families coming together at the holidays, where I genuinely think that was a solid experience. And I think I'm going to say that with this one. It's never going to be my all-time favourite film, and I am aware that I am kind of comparing it with similar-ish films. Had this been the first film of its kind I'd seen where families come together, I probably would have thought, it's not the strongest, but it works. But comparing it with other films that tried to do something similar, I think it's quite exemplary, and I think they did a really good job with it. So if ordinarily you're not a huge fan of that basic premise, I'd say still give it a go. I think it has a lot to offer. I think it is generally quite engaging. The Christmas aspect is great, and ultimately I came away from it feeling rather satisfied, really happy with the experience, and definitely, needless to say, A Keller Christmas Vacation is one that I'm rather happy to recommend.